Hello friends, welcome to our e-learning platform by the book Learning Made Easy, where we give an in-depth analysis and comprehensive explanation of all the topics related to UPSC, APSC as well as other PCS examinations. In the first part, we have already discussed how the Portuguese came to India for business purposes. Then we discussed about the Portuguese Governor Generals such as Francisco de Almeida, Alfonso de Albuquerque and Nuno da Cunha. We also studied how the Portuguese state was established and consolidated in India. Then we studied the religious policies of the Portuguese. In this part, we are going to proceed with the second part, which is how the Portuguese lost favor with the Mughal Empire. Then we will discuss about the capture of Hooghly by the Mughals and the decline of the Portuguese in India. We are also going to discuss the importance and significance of Portuguese from the modern point of view. So let's discuss the next part. Now friends, we are going to discuss how the Portuguese lost favor with the Mughal kings. See, in 1608, as I had mentioned earlier during the first part, if you have not seen it, please go through that 20 baptisms were carried out in the city of Agra. Similarly, in 1608, a captain called William Hawkins reached Surat, which is on the coast of Gujarat, with his ship Hector. Sometimes it is asked that in which ship did Captain William Hawkins arrive in Surat. So the name of the ship is Hector. Okay, I hope you remember that. Okay, see, during his visit, he bought a lot of gifts for the Mughal emperor at the time, who was Jahangir. Okay, who was also known as Salim. And when Salim when Salim met him, that is Captain William Hawkins, then he immediately appointed him as a Mansabdar in his court with a rank of 400 and a salary of 30,000 rupees. I hope you all are aware of what a Mansabdar is. It is actually a rank given to an official within the Mughal Empire. I hope you got my point. During that time, a Portuguese father was Father Pinheiro. He was a Christian missionary, and him along with other Portuguese leaders, they stopped English ships from reaching the coast of Surat. As I might not have told you, Captain William Hawkins was a English sailor. Okay, so he was the first English person to come to India. I hope you got my point. Okay, now we are going to discuss that how Captain William Hawkins in 1611, see, in 1608 he came to the court of Jahangir. Okay, he stayed there as a Mansabdar. In 1611 he decided to return to England. Okay, then he left the court and he returned with the ships named Dragon and Oceander. So which was the first ship which came to India? It was obviously Hector. And the next ships were Dragon and Oceander, both of which were flighted by Captain William Hawkins. And as a result, he was able to successfully ward off or hold off the Portuguese in the sea. The Portuguese, as a result, they lost the battle, and hence they became offended. They also offended Jahangir by capturing many Mughal ships. And during that time, the in charge of Surat was Mukarrab Khan. So Jahangir ordered Mukarrab Khan to obtain compensation from the Portuguese during that period. I hope you got my point. Okay, friends, now we are going to discuss how the capture of Hooghly took place. See, as I had told you earlier, Alfonso de Albuquerque attempted the settlement of many people. Not only Alfonso de Albuquerque, actually Nuno da Cunha also attempted the settlement of many Portuguese in an island of the coast of Bengal called Hooghly. Okay, so that was in the year 1579. The Portuguese settled down on a river bank at a short distance from Satgaon, which is located in Bengal. Okay, so the name of the river is Hooghly, and the river bank area was called as Hooghly altogether. Okay, I hope you got my point. Remember the year? The year was 1579. So after they took over the place, after the Portuguese took over Hooghly, they started metropolizing the place. Like they started business establishment, they started growing houses, etc. They modified the area into a town. Okay, so they metropolized the region and they levied charges on tobacco and started salt trade. See, as I told you earlier, Hooghly is located just off the coast of the sea. So hence salt was a very profitable business in that region. Hence the Portuguese, they started levying charges on tobacco and started salt trade. As a result, they were in profit. okay, in the business. Not only that, they even started trading of slaves, such as of that of Hindu and Muslim children. Okay, and this trading business started growing so wildly. This slavery business, it started growing so wildly that once upon a time they even captured two slaves of Mumtaz Mahal. And do you know who Mumtaz Mahal was? Yes, you are right. She was the wife of Shah Jahan, after whom the Taj Mahal is named. I hope you got my point. So, as a result, what happened was that in retaliation, in 1632, Shah Jahan ordered Qasim Khan. Okay, he was the governor during that time. Okay, so Shah Jahan ordered Qasim Khan to attack the Portuguese and capture Hooghly. In this period, the Mughals lost about 1000 men, but also captured 400 Portuguese men, and they had been given two options. See, of course, the Mughals lost many men. See, as I have told you, they lost 1000 men, but they also captured 400 Portuguese men. Okay, and they had two options: either they could convert to Islam or they could serve as slaves. Actually, what happened was that the child trading business, in which two slaves of Mumtaz Mahal was also captured. So this irked Shah Jahan a lot. So he ordered Qasim Khan to attack the Portuguese, and thus they were able to seize Hooghly. And Mughals also lost a number of men, but they were successful in capturing 400 Portuguese men, and hence they had the option of converting to Islam or serve as slaves. I hope you got my point. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the decline of the Portuguese in India. See, we have already seen how the Portuguese came to India, how they invaded it, how they came only for business purposes, but they also wanted to expand and consolidate their territory in our country. After all these things happened and they started losing favor of the Mughals, Portuguese could not go on their own in India, and they started declining. So by the later half of the 18th century, Portuguese in India almost lost their commercial influences. They lost their commercial holdings. Hooghly was also taken by the Mughals. So during that time, Hooghly was the main center which was used by the Portuguese for piracy in Bengal. I hope you got my point. That was the main center of piracy and also a very huge trading center for the Portuguese in Bengal. Okay, so the advantages which were gained by Portuguese, and they were reduced to half. Okay, because many powerful rulers emerged during that period. Okay, plus other European countries people also started coming to India. Okay, the Portuguese, as I had mentioned earlier in my previous lecture also, that they were very ardent, they were very arrogant of converting people towards their own religion. So this policy of converting Hindus and Muslims to Christianity angered a lot of Hindus as well as Muslims. So this policy of conversion was frowned upon by the local people. Thus, this was a very bad. This was in very bad taste for the local people. Moreover, there were many dishonest trade practices from the Portuguese, and hence they received a very bad eye from the Mughals. Okay, the Mughals who have been giving so much support to the Portuguese, they were slowly beginning to withdraw their support from the Portuguese. During that time, Brazil was also discovered in South America, and hence all the colonizing activities of the Portuguese were slowly being diverted to the west. Okay. Plus, all the other European colonies such as French, the Danes, the Dutch, and the British were also competing amongst each other. And during that competition, every colony is bound to lose some of its property, trade, as well as landmass. So, Portuguese were no exception to this. Slowly, one by one, all Portuguese territories, they began falling. They started to go out of the control of the Portuguese. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the significance of the Portuguese in India. See, the coming of Portuguese, it marked the beginning of naval powers. See, at the time, the Indian naval powers were mostly bestowed upon Gujarat, and except Egypt, Moors, Arabs, and the Chinese, there were hardly any sea contenders, or rather navies, in the seas as well as oceans. So the coming of the Portuguese, it marked a new revolution in the beginning of naval powers. Plus, they also started a new system of threat, usage of force or threat to get what they wanted. Not only in terms of trade, but also in terms of monopoly practices. The Portuguese, they used to threat. They used to give threat that, yeah, if you don't give me this, I will attack you, like that. And they used to get whatever they wanted by that practice. I hope you got my point. Plus, the Portuguese, they were not interested in following others' rules and regulations, and only were interested in following their own rules and regulations, even if it might lead to enmity or destruction of some other opponents. Okay? Plus, they were hell-bent, they were very intent on taking over the Indian Ocean trading system. I have already told you, about the blue water policy, which was developed by Francisco de Almeida, by which they wanted to make themselves the master of the Indian Ocean, and they continued that statement by being hell-bent on taking over the Indian Ocean trading system. Then a new method was started by them, which was called as artillery to the stirrup. Artillery to the stirrup, which means landing of guns from the ships and usage of body armor were some of the military innovations seen. So this was very hi-fi and very advanced military usages which were not popular during these times, which gave a very big upper hand to the Portuguese. Plus, many drilling groups were also used as infantry, which is a part of the army. Not only single deck ships, multi-deck ships were available on the hands of the Portuguese, and they were very heavily constructed so that they could run before the arrival of monsoon season. Many royal arsenal and dockyards were organized by the Portuguese, and they were very noteworthy. Means they could easily manufacture weapons, and their dockyards in which ships were manufactured as well as the ports, all of their construction was very noteworthy. Even in the field of art, carving, sculpting, the Portuguese missionaries were the pioneers in India, in the sense that if you go through any design, say the Saint Basilica's church in Goa, so that church was built during the time of the Portuguese. So if you go and see the architecture, you can see how mesmerizing, how important and how eye-catching the architecture was during that time. So all of these are examples of the Portuguese architecture. Plus, during that time, the art of silversmithery and goldsmithery flourished in Goa under the Portuguese. So they were not only experts in just sculptures or arts and carving, but were also expert goldsmiths as well as silversmiths. So these businesses flourished in Goa under the Portuguese, and their style of architecture was noteworthy, as could be observed from the Goan churches, as I had already told you. Not only churches, they had many statues and all, so from that also their expertise could be well predetermined. So friends, thank you for this video. I hope you all will like it. Our social media handles are given below. You could follow us. Please like, share and subscribe our videos. Plus our videos are also available in 3 languages, that is English, Hindi and Assamese. So I hope you go through whichever one you find warming. Thank you friends. See you again.